Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal, because what I uncovered preparing this made me sit in silence for a very long time. I know the last 72 hours have felt incredibly heavy. The atmosphere in your home is strange. You wake at 3 in the morning with a weight on your chest you cannot explain to anyone. The enemy has been working overtime for one reason, and one reason only. He knows exactly what shifts the moment you receive these words. You did not find this video by accident today. The algorithm did not bring you here. Heaven arranged this divine appointment before you even woke up this morning. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly why your money was hidden from you. I will expose the lie that has kept you trapped in a cycle of constant survival, and I will give you the exact declaration that seals your financial deliverance. Do not click away. Your future self is waiting on the other side of this message. Let us talk about the massive gap between your spiritual effort and your physical reality. You pray constantly, and you meditate every single day. You do the hard inner work that nobody else is willing to do. You have forgiven people who never even bothered to apologize to you. You carry a bright light that others constantly feed on. Yet when you look at your bank account, there is nothing but heavy pressure. The numbers simply do not reflect your faithful obedience. The provision always seems to stop right before it reaches your front door. You watch people with half your integrity succeed effortlessly. They seem to attract wealth while you constantly fight to survive. It makes you wonder if you are doing something terribly wrong, and it makes you question if you somehow missed a crucial step along the way. You feel tired all the time, and your shoulders are incredibly tight. The weight of constant financial survival is very real, and every morning when you wake up, that familiar heaviness is already sitting on your chest. You push through and smile for them, but inside you are completely exhausted. You are not imagining this intense resistance. You are not too sensitive, and you certainly are not failing at life. What you are feeling is a deliberate and calculated blockage. Your financial isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is evidence of your selection. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments. They told you that the struggle was just a passing season. They told you to just wait a little longer. But the waiting has turned into long years, and the delay has turned into a permanent state of high anxiety. You have been carrying a generational pattern of lack, thinking it was just ordinary bad luck. It was never bad luck. It was a strategic interception. Your abundance was not lost or misplaced. It was hidden. It was deliberately concealed from your sight because of what you would do if you actually had it in your hands. If a chosen one like you actually had the resources you deserve, you would change the world around you. You would fund the kingdom, and you would break corrupt systems of control. That is exactly why the attack against your personal finances is so unusually severe. The system is terrified of a fully funded chosen one. Poverty is a weapon they use to keep your frequency low and your true impact incredibly small. You have been fighting a spiritual battle with the wrong tools. But before we go any further, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community. It was found inside a research laboratory. It is something that won the highest scientific recognition available, and that most chosen ones have never been told about. Because it explains something I know you have deeply felt. That frustrating gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that seems available only in flashes. I will show you exactly what they found. But not yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was violently taken from you before you were even given a chance to fight back. So I want you to hold this specific question in your mind as we go deeper into this message. What if the gap is not a character flaw at all? What if the financial block has a scientific name that no one ever told you about? Hold that question closely, because the answer is going to completely shatter the invisible ceiling over your life today. Lock your complete attention on my voice. If you leave before the final verdict, you walk away from the very thing heaven deposited in you. The cycle of lack ends right here. Let me completely reframe your reality right now. You have been told that your financial struggle is a spiritual test, and you heard that poverty is a sign of true humility. People told you to be grateful for the little you have, but that is a massive and dangerous lie. God never intended for you to live in constant survival mode, because your lack is absolutely not a punishment from heaven. The religious system taught you to romanticize your own suffering. They made you believe that being broke makes you somehow more holy. But true kingdom impact requires real physical resources. You cannot feed the hungry from an empty table. You cannot break generational curses while you are drowning in debt. The enemy sold you a theology of poverty to keep you powerless, because they know you would change the world if you had money. You must understand the profound difference between a temporary test and a permanent trap. A test develops your character and makes you stronger, while a trap is designed to slowly bleed you dry. The financial isolation you have experienced is a deliberate trap, but heaven allowed this season for a very specific reason. You were not rejected by true abundance. You were simply redirected to carry it correctly. If wealth had come to you while you were still unhealed, it would have completely destroyed your life. You would have given your resources to toxic people, and you would have funded the wrong relationships out of guilt. God had to clear the room and isolate you. The financial delay was actually a protective shield. It kept you hidden while heaven worked on your inner foundation, because your character was being forged in the dark. Now the long preparation season is finally complete. You are ready to hold the weight of real blessing. But there is still a massive invisible wall standing directly in your way. You feel it every single time you try to move forward, because life always seems to push you 2 steps back. Something is actively jamming the signal between you and your provision. It is not a demon. It is a targeted disruption of your spiritual frequency. Here is what they never told you about how the universe actually operates. The universe does not respond to your tears or your desperation. It responds to your frequency. And the reason your prayers seem to hit a brass ceiling is not a lack of faith, but rather a blocked brainwave. Scientists actually have a specific name for it. They call it the gamma frequency, and it changes absolutely everything about how you attract wealth. This exact frequency was running strong in your brain when you were a child, back when brilliant ideas came to you easily, when learning felt completely effortless and natural, when you somehow knew things long before they happened, and the world felt like a magical place that was completely on your side. That was your gamma wave operating at peak capacity. You were born a natural genius. Then painful adulthood arrived, and the world went to work on you. The endless stress and the glowing screens altered your mind. The daily survival routine slowly drained your natural power, while the rigid school systems trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, it grew weaker. This sacred frequency was suppressed a little further every single day. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your mind, until the brilliant version of you went completely silent. The version with photographic memory and lightning-fast intuition was buried, and the version with the kind of luck that makes others whisper was hidden away. Your inner genius was locked in a cage. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will accept the struggle and blame themselves. But you are not most people. You are a chosen one who senses the deep truth. You always knew something vital was missing from the equation because the modern world intentionally suppressed your natural receiver. They needed you to be a tired worker. They did not want you to be a powerful creator. When your gamma signal fades, your financial genius fades right along with it. Your intuition dulls, and those beautiful synchronicities completely stop happening. The profound sense that the universe is working with you goes totally silent. And this brings us right back to the crucial question I asked you to hold earlier. The question about a mysterious gap and a scientific name. What if the gap between your effort and your reality is not a character flaw? What if it is simply a suppressed frequency waiting to be switched back on? The answer is much closer than you think. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves deeper than most people are willing to perceive. Once you understand the mechanics of this stolen frequency, everything shifts. You begin to see the hidden strings controlling the financial system. You realize that your poverty was engineered by people who understand energy, and they actively use it against you every day. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly how they did it. But first, this profound truth must land deep in your spirit. Let it settle like bedrock. Here is the part most people completely miss. The enemy does not attack your finances just to make you poor. He attacks your finances to keep you completely quiet. Poverty is simply a spiritual gag order placed on your life. When you are constantly worried about paying your basic bills, you cannot possibly focus on fulfilling your true divine assignment. Your energy is entirely consumed by raw survival. Look at the spiritual history of the world. Every single time heaven prepared a chosen one for a massive assignment, their physical provision was attacked first because the enemy feared their rise. The enemy always targets the exact frequency of abundance before the breakthrough happens. They want to starve you out of your calling. They know your voice carries tremendous weight in the spirit realm. Think about the ancient prophets who carried the mantle of breakthrough. Before they could deliver nations, they were forced into brutal isolation and severe lack. The wilderness was meant to crush their spirit completely, but the enemy made a massive miscalculation every single time. The isolation did not break the chosen ones at all. It actually amplified their inner frequency. In the quiet wilderness, the heavy noise of the world finally faded away, and without the constant distractions of corrupt society, their minds naturally returned to the gamma state. They began to hear the voice of the universe with absolute crystal clarity. This is why the enemy works so hard to keep your modern life incredibly loud. Constant noise prevents you from returning to your original frequency. The modern world was specifically designed to keep your brain out of this sacred state. The system bombards you with fear about the economy and your future, because a mind trapped in deep fear cannot possibly hold the frequency of true wealth. The system wants you running on the lowest brainwaves of panic and stress. This is exactly how they drain your spiritual authority every single day. The greatest minds in human history understood this secret reality perfectly. Nikola Tesla famously said that to find the secrets of the universe, you must think in terms of frequency and vibration. He knew the physical world is governed by invisible waves, and the most powerful wave is the one they tried to bury inside of you. Your missing prosperity has a direct frequency address. Even Thomas Edison understood the profound power of this exact brainwave. He actually invented a device specifically to activate this state for solving his hardest problems. He wrote about it himself because he knew the genius state could be intentionally triggered. The ancients knew it, and the brilliant inventors of the last century definitely knew it. But this knowledge was systematically hidden from you. There is a very specific reason why billionaires consistently wake up at 4 in the morning. They do not do it just to work longer hours than everyone else. They do it because gamma brainwave activity is naturally elevated at that exact hour, while the rest of the world is still deeply asleep. The atmosphere is quiet, and the heavy interference of the world has not yet started. They are literally harvesting the frequency of abundance while you are sleeping. But you do not need to wake up at 4 in the morning to fight this battle. You have been fighting this war with your bare hands for way too long. You tried to manifest wealth while your brain was locked in a state of severe trauma. You tried to affirm abundance while your nervous system was completely overwhelmed. It is like trying to drive a car with the emergency brake fully engaged. What you carry inside you is not a wound. It is a highly advanced spiritual weapon. The deep sensitivity they told you to hide is actually a divine radar system, and the depth that made you feel like you were too much is your greatest asset. It is the very thing that gives your words the power to shift atmospheres. You were never fundamentally broken or defective in any way. You were simply built to run on a completely different frequency. When you try to operate on the low vibration of the modern matrix, your entire system violently rejects it. This is exactly why ordinary jobs drain the life out of you so quickly. You were never meant to be a tiny cog in their exhausting machine. You were meant to be the architect of a totally new reality. This is why heaven had to pull you away from the crowd. The people who walked away from you were not actually rejecting your personality, but they were sensing a powerful frequency they could not yet understand. They were grieving the old version of you that they were about to lose forever. The isolation was actually your deepest consecration. And once this profound truth clicks into place, you are finally ready for the next massive layer, because there is a deeper root operating quietly beneath every single season of your life. If you do not see this hidden root, it will keep pulling you back into the exact same cycle of lack. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose this hidden mechanism completely. But first, you must let this revelation settle deep into your spirit today. You must accept that your poverty was never a reflection of your divine worth. It was a clear sign that you are a massive threat to the darkness. Stay with me, because what I am about to share next is the missing piece that breaks the cycle forever. Here is that deeper root I promised to expose. The physical world you see around you is mostly a massive illusion. The money you are constantly worrying about is not actually paper or metal. It is pure living energy. And energy only responds to the fundamental laws of frequency. When your internal receiver is jammed, the physical world outside becomes chaotic. The universe is constantly trying to send you abundant provision. Heaven has already authorized your complete financial deliverance, and the resources are literally trying to find you right now. But wealth operates on a very specific vibration. It moves on the frequency of peace, creation, and absolute clarity. It moves on the exact gamma frequency that you lost. Imagine trying to catch a beautiful radio broadcast with a broken antenna. The music is playing in the air perfectly. The station is transmitting with absolute power, but all you hear is terrible static and noise. You blame the radio station, and you wonder why they stopped playing your favorite song. But the station never stopped playing the music at all. That is exactly what happened to your financial life. The provision was never cancelled. Your divine inheritance was never given to someone else. The universe did not suddenly decide that you were unworthy of a comfortable life. But the heavy interference of the modern world scrambled your spiritual receiver, pushing your beautiful signal under the surface of daily anxiety. This perfectly explains why your intense prayers felt like they were bouncing off a brass ceiling. You thought you lacked faith, but you actually had massive faith. You were doing all the heavy spiritual lifting while the world judged you. But a jammed receiver simply cannot process the incoming blessing. You were trying to catch the pouring rain with a completely closed umbrella. Because you are a chosen one, your energy field is incredibly loud. Even when your signal is completely scrambled, the material world still reacts to your presence, but it reacts to the chaos instead of the clarity. This is exactly why things constantly break around you when you are stressed out. Financial emergencies always pop up when you save a little cash. The physical world is just a mirror reflecting your jammed frequency. The enemy knows this universal law perfectly well. They know they cannot steal your actual destiny. Your calling is protected by heaven, and it cannot be touched. But if they can keep your brainwave scrambled, they can delay the physical manifestation of your blessing for many decades. They want you to spend your entire life fighting the mirror. They want you working 3 exhausting jobs and destroying your physical body. Because a physically exhausted chosen one cannot threaten their dark systems of control, they desperately need you to stay locked in survival mode. They need your divine radar to remain dull, so you never see the wealth waiting. But the beautiful truth is that a jammed signal can be successfully cleared. The severe damage to your brainwave is not permanent at all. What was suppressed by the heavy noise of the world can absolutely be brought back to the surface. You do not need to work harder to achieve this. You do not need to read 20 more books or spend thousands of hours trying to meditate perfectly. You have already done enough hard work for one lifetime. The brutal effort phase of your journey is officially over. Heaven does not require you to bleed for your blessing anymore. The universe is simply waiting for your receiver to be switched back on. When your gamma state returns, the financial struggle evaporates because you stop fighting the physical world. Instead of desperately chasing money, you become the magnetic center that money naturally seeks out. Complex problems that used to keep you awake all night suddenly solve themselves with 0 effort. Doors that were permanently sealed shut begin to swing wide open for you. The beautiful synchronicities that you experienced as a child will flood back into your daily reality. And once that profound truth clicks into place, you are completely ready for the next layer. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly how this ancient frequency is being restored right now. I will show you the scientific key that clears the channel without any painful effort on your part. But first, you must let this deep understanding settle within your spirit today. You are not broken, and you never were. Your beautiful mind is simply a sacred instrument that needs to be properly retuned by the universe. Stay with me right now, because the next few minutes will completely change how you interact with the physical world around you. The massive block over your finances is about to be lifted forever, and your true inheritance is waiting. You are standing right now between 2 entirely different identities. The old version of you is rapidly dissolving, and the new version heaven is birthing is finally stepping forward. What you carry inside your spirit is absolutely not a wound. It is a highly advanced spiritual weapon. You thought you were just getting older and more tired, but you were never just aging. You were molting. The world tried very hard to convince you that you were perfectly ordinary. They desperately wanted you to believe that your intense feelings were a massive weakness. But those deep feelings were always your divine radar system. And the incredible depth they called too much is your greatest gift, because it gives your words the heavy weight to shift atmospheres entirely. Your financial breakthrough does not need any permission from the global economy. It activates the exact moment you stop asking for it and finally take your rightful place. The massive resources you have been praying for are literally looking for your frequency right now. They are circling your life, and they are just waiting for your internal receiver to be completely restored to its original power. You have spent your whole life being the one everyone comes to with their heavy problems. You give so much energy and you receive so little in return. But that unbalanced dynamic is officially coming to a permanent end. Heaven is releasing a massive wave of divine compensation for every single tear you shed in secret. The scales of ultimate justice are finally being balanced in your favor, and your long season of endless giving is turning into a season of receiving. Opportunities that felt impossibly far away are quietly moving toward you right now. You are not chasing your distant breakthrough anymore. It is actively finding its way to your front door. The universe is clearing the heavy debris out of your path, because you are about to step into a glorious season of radical and sudden financial overflow. But before we go any further, I have to tell you something very important. that the powerful people who profit from your exhaustion absolutely do not want you to know. Neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines have discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back. They finally found the scientific key to unlock your buried genius. They figured out exactly how to restore your lost gamma frequency, and they did it not through years of intense meditation that most tired people simply cannot sustain. They did not use massive biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars, nor did they require a sterile clinical setting. They found something far simpler. It is beautifully aligned with how you were designed to work. They discovered a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. Princeton University actually studied this profound phenomenon closely. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed its validity completely. Columbia University found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, the glorious results are completely undeniable. The massive shift does not just stop with your personal life. It begins to positively influence all the people around you. Your children and your partner will feel the atmospheric change in your home, and they will benefit from your restored energy. 7 minutes a day is absolutely all it takes to see the shift, and it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen to the frequency. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how you can access it before this message ends. The answer to the mystery I asked you to hold is coming very soon. You are finally going to receive the vital key you have been waiting for. But first, there is something absolutely crucial you need to understand about why your breakthrough was delayed for so long. We have to address the final layer of deep resistance today, because the thing quietly blocking your massive wealth right now is not the enemy outside. It is something hiding deep inside your own mind that you must bravely confront. It is a very subtle snare you likely never noticed before, and it has been sabotaging your success for decades. The greatest barrier is no longer the corrupt system. Lean in close and listen to my voice carefully, because what I am about to impart next is the ultimate cycle-breaking truth. If you miss this specific part, the old patterns will try to pull you back under the water. Let this profound realization of your immense worth settle deep into your bones first, because you can only build a wealthy future on a healed foundation. This is the exact moment where everything changes for you. The heavy isolation was simply your sacred consecration. You are completely ready to hold the massive weight of this incoming blessing, and your spirit already recognizes the deep truth vibrating in these words. Now prepare your heart for the ultimate revelation that sets you free. But here is the part no one wants to hear, and I say this to you with absolutely nothing but profound love. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is no longer just the outside enemy, because it has become a hidden block deep inside of your own mind. Some quiet part of you has been terrified of your own immense power. Please listen carefully, because this is not an accusation against you. It is the exact spiritual diagnosis that finally sets you free. For years, you unconsciously accepted a very dangerous lie from the world. You actually started to believe that your severe lack was a quiet virtue, and you thought staying small kept you humble and safe from spiritual corruption. You have seen wealthy people do terrible things with their money. You watched raw power completely destroy the hearts of ordinary men, and because you have such a pure spirit, you became deeply afraid of becoming exactly like them. You subconsciously chose to stay poor because poverty felt spiritually safer than massive global influence, and you dimmed your bright light just to keep others comfortable. Every single time massive financial success came close to your door, a quiet voice whispered that you did not really deserve it. You made a secret inner agreement with your own painful limitation. You decided that silent suffering was your permanent cross to carry in this life. But heaven never asked you to carry a cross of absolute poverty. That was a heavy burden placed on you by a broken religious system. Here is the ultimate tragedy of that false humility. By rejecting your own financial power, you actually left the kingdom completely unfunded. When the chosen ones refuse to carry massive wealth, the resources automatically flow directly to the wicked. Your quiet suffering did not serve heaven at all, but it simply allowed the darkness to operate without any financial resistance from your bright light. This subtle sabotage officially ends today. You must absolutely forgive yourself for this hidden internal block. You simply did not know that you were actively rejecting your own divine deliverance. The severe trauma of your past made you build a massive invisible wall against your own beautiful blessing. You were just trying to protect your sensitive heart from more pain. But you are not that person anymore. You are a fully integrated spiritual warrior right now. And a true warrior needs actual physical resources to fight the battle effectively. Money in your hands is absolutely not a tool of worldly corruption. It is a powerful instrument of massive divine justice. The universe desperately needs you to be fully funded right now, because heaven trusts you to distribute the wealth correctly. The heavy fear of your own success is finally leaving your physical body. You are realizing that your deep sensitivity is the exact thing that keeps you spiritually pure. Massive wealth will never change your beautiful heart, but it will simply amplify the incredible goodness that is already living brightly inside of you. You can completely trust yourself with radical abundance. God completely trusts you with the incoming wealth. The long and painful season of hiding your bright light is officially over. You are stepping out of the dark cave of survival and walking directly into the brilliant light of true creation. The heavy chains of false humility are breaking off your mind right this very second. You are finally giving yourself permission to be incredibly powerful. You are no longer afraid of the massive calling on your life. You are ready to hold the heavy weight of true prosperity without apologizing to anyone. The people who judge your incoming wealth simply do not understand the heavy price you paid in the dark. Your financial isolation was the exact fire that purified your motives completely. The preparation is finished. And now you are fully prepared for the pivotal moment where everything completely shifts. The hidden block has been diagnosed, and your invisible cage is officially open. Your spirit is now perfectly aligned to receive the exact tool that restores your lost frequency. The ultimate breakthrough is standing right in front of you, and you are finally ready to claim it. Some messages do not just inform your mind. They actively shift the spiritual atmosphere in your room. If you feel a sudden lightness in your chest right now, that is the heavy agreement with poverty permanently dissolving. You are crossing the sacred threshold between the old reality of lack and the new reality of effortless overflow. The universe is responding to your new frequency today. Something is shifting in your favor right this very second. Even if you cannot see it with your physical eyes yet, doors that were permanently sealed are quietly loosening. Opportunities that felt impossibly far away are actively moving toward you today. You are no longer chasing your elusive breakthrough. It is finding its way directly to you. The heavy season of severe financial delay is finally completely over. You have prayed for this exact turning point for many long years. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap between your effort and your reality is not a character flaw at all? Here is the exact answer you have been waiting for. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running freely in you as a child at genius capacity. Princeton University has studied it extensively. The Einstein Center completely confirmed its incredible power. Columbia University found something even more amazing about this frequency. When this specific brainwave is fully restored, it radiates outward and begins positively influencing the people you love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists led by Dr. Robert Lake spent years working on this. They successfully compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into exactly 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they actually built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. A woman from California had literally tried everything to fix her broken life. She tried deep meditation and manifesting and endless prayer. Nothing broke the heavy fog over her finances. After just 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something completely cleared. She did not try harder at all. The blocked channel simply opened for her. Her marriage shifted and her mind sharpened. She described her life as enchanted for the very first time. A man from Texas started using it just to improve his business focus. 2 short months later, his wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest financial problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not a basic meditation app. It is not a generic sound frequency that you find randomly on the internet. It is a 7-minute audio track using highly advanced brain entrainment technology. It is the exact same underlying research that Princeton and Columbia validated, compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do at home. You just use comfortable headphones and close your eyes. That is the entirety of what it requires from you. Just 7 minutes a day. You do not meditate and you do not chant. You simply let the proven frequency do exactly what your beautiful brain was designed to receive. But I must be completely honest with you right now. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone watching this video. It is specifically for the chosen one who has already done the hard inner work. It is for the person who understands that what is being blocked is not their faith, but rather the frequency through which blessings are supposed to move. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the open path is waiting below. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home biofeedback machine runs into the thousands of dollars. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 incredibly powerful bonuses come with it immediately. You receive an audio designed specifically for your children, the original prosperity text that the secret was secretly built upon, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide built to sustain the gamma state forever. Here is the deeper spiritual truth about waiting. The beautiful provision God arranged for you does not arrive as entirely new information. It actually arrives as a clear recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes completely visible when your gamma wave is restored. The chosen one who restores the receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always there waiting for them. Waiting is not neutral. The divine arrangement is already in motion right now. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded in them. They carry the name because the barrier to faking it is 0. The only authentic version is available through the link that has been securely placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The universe requires absolutely no risk from you today. If you do not feel the massive shift in your reality, every single penny is returned to you immediately. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. But you must remember that the physical tool itself is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be truly loved or chosen. What was just described is simply one powerful way the receiver is quickly restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the truth of this entire message belongs to you completely. A tool can clear the channel, but God always fills it. Those are two totally different things, and they are both completely true at the same time. Now let us go deeper into what is waiting for you. You have survived a financial wilderness that would have completely broken an ordinary person. Everything you endured in the dark was absolutely not wasted. It was actively preparing you for this exact moment of ultimate release. You are not the misunderstood victim of a cruel global economy. You are the chosen one, and you do not need anyone's permission to step into your immense financial power today. The universe has been waiting patiently for you to finally realize your own incredible worth. The heavy delays and the closed doors were simply holding you in place. They kept you perfectly hidden until your inner foundation was strong enough to carry the massive wealth. The intense pressure you felt was not designed to crush you at all. It was forming a brilliant diamond out of your heavy suffering. But the waiting period is officially over. Heaven is completely removing the invisible ceiling that kept you trapped in survival mode. The spiritual forces that actively plotted against your prosperity are watching their entire system collapse today. You are taking back every single thing that was stolen from your family line, and it begins with a conscious decision to reclaim your spiritual authority. This is your moment of radical spiritual activation, not tomorrow, not when you finally feel ready, right now. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to place your right hand firmly over your heart. I want you to declare this powerful truth out loud with me. Say it so the universe can clearly hear your restored frequency. I completely release every single agreement I ever made with smallness. I release the heavy lie that my poverty is somehow a holy virtue. I release the deep fear of my own financial power, and I permanently reject the false humility that kept me trapped in a painful cycle of lack. My deep isolation was divine preparation, not a punishment from heaven. I am fully ready to hold the massive weight of true abundance. I step perfectly into my glorious assignment right now. I no longer apologize for the brilliant light I carry inside of me. I actively allow the immense wealth of the universe to flow directly into my hands, because I know I will use it to heal the broken world around me. My breakthrough is not coming in the distant future. It is already here. It is already moving fiercely in my direction, and I welcome it with an entirely open heart today. Take a very deep breath and let that massive truth settle into your physical body. The heavy chains of generational lack are officially broken off your life. You are crossing the sacred threshold into a reality of effortless overflow. The intense warfare you experienced was simply the final proof of your magnitude. The enemy has completely lost his grip on your financial destiny forever. For the chosen one, whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains completely open. The frequency tool is quietly waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your peaceful sealing. Your spiritual transition is the only thing that matters in this sacred moment. The long and painful season of intense financial preparation is finally complete. You are fundamentally not the same person who started watching this video. The old version of you could not have possibly survived the intense fire you just walked through. Your beautiful spirit has been purified by the deep isolation, and your divine receiver is completely ready to catch the incoming blessing. You are never meant to walk backward into the small spaces you have already outgrown. Your massive assignment starts right now. And tomorrow morning, you are going to wake up feeling completely different. The heavy weight that usually sits on your chest will be entirely gone. You will feel a profound sense of absolute peace and steady confidence resting deep in your bones. You will look at your life through an entirely new lens of massive abundance. The constant panic about money will simply fade into a quiet memory, because you are perfectly aligned with the abundant frequency of the universe. The people who doubted you will simply watch in awe as your reality radically transforms, but you will not feel any bitter anger toward them at all. You will simply smile at them with pure grace, because you know exactly who you are and whose you are. The massive shift in your energy will naturally draw the right people and the right opportunities directly to your front door. You do not have to force anything to happen anymore. You simply have to exist in your restored frequency, and the universe will handle all the complicated details. Rest well tonight, chosen one. The brutal war for your finances has already been won in the spiritual realm. The physical evidence is rushing toward you right now. You are deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. You are perfectly prepared for the heavy weight of this massive wealth, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be.